Back, we're going to continue some cartography today for the upcoming release on DMsGuild, Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. My name is Phil Kearney. This is my channel. I build 5e PDF supplements to cover the gaps that are in the Wizard of the Coast rendition of D&D 5e. Give me a second here to check my signals. D&D 5e. That sounds pretty good. Let's check my limits here. Cool. Okay, great. So if you follow me on Twitter, I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter, so you're certainly welcome to follow me there. Give me a hot second here. I'm going to punch my signal across the Discords where I hang out most often. Beep, 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 meep, meep, meep. Just give me a hot second here. So what we're going to do is, so this book cover that we created, the DM's Guild is a place where people can use official Wizards IP to produce additional content as they please. I choose to create content that helps clarify and increase the amount of options that DMs and players have, either as mechanical concepts, new rules they can implement, or just a new philosophy and a different perspective on how they are playing the game, both of which are present in the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book. If you check my link down below to DM's Guild, you're going to see a slew of books, all of which are 100% preview. You can read them all cover to cover and decide for yourself if you want to purchase them, but it gives you an opportunity to see the depth of quality and mechanical detail that we go into for different concepts. In that instance, in that bundle, is 5 color mana spell point variant rules. So using MTG color philosophy and mana system to tap, maintaining concentration, and different color manipulation to cast different spells. So that's just one example of stuff that we're working on. This Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book breaks down the mechanics of scaling space over time, and distance in combat, action economy that characters can use together to command weapon crews, their own ships, weapons like rams and grappling claws, as well as commanding full squadrons of ships with their own siege weapons and ship melee weaponry as well. So it's a scaling system, moving you from 5 feet, controlling your own character, into vehicles within 50 feet, such as fighter craft or dog fighting, which Spelljammer vessels, up to the 500-foot scale, which is the space in which full-size Spelljammer vessels can occupy, to the 1 mile square, which in this instance we're looking at the Citadel of Light from Light of Xaryxis. It's the boss fight of spaceships in the Spelljammer Adventures in Space campaign. So we needed to create scaling mechanics that allow characters to operate the same if they're flying a spaceship than if they were just running down a hallway in a dungeon. So we've successfully built those mechanics. They work incredibly well. We've done a lot of play testing with them. There were some hang-ups along the way as far as like movement is concerned and action economy and how to like reload of weapons and stuff, but we resolved all that. So the product's really strong. We had to make a lot of changes in terminology and how things like focusing on a helm while you're piloting, like how we express that language a little differently than how it was presented in the original Wizard of the Coast source content that came out in August 2022. So we're currently building out the Citadel of Light, the boss fight. It's a 1 mile facility. If you've been hanging out with us, you know that we finished the underbelly of this fortress. Here's the forest that maintains the oxygen or a fresh air supply for the citizens that are typically on the top side of the Citadel. Each of these circles is a gun nest or a siege tower, I think is the word that we're using, that holds 2 trebuchet crews. So each trebuchet requires, according to Saltmarsh, each trebuchet requires 9 people, 9 medium-sized creatures to aim, fire, and reload. And then, of course, if you have a siege commander that's overseeing both weapon crews, one character or one commander can theoretically order both catapults or siege trebuchet to fire on any object that's within range. And of course, with the Spelljammer space mechanics that we're using, a trebuchet in normal Earth atmosphere, or in atmosphere period, has a 1,500 foot range, and using 500 foot squares, that's 1, 2, 3 squares away to be within normal range of fire. But using our system, you can be up to a mile away and still be considered long range because of the scaling of the system. And the 50 foot squares, 10 of them is 500 feet, 10 500 foot squares is a mile, 10 mile squares is a 10 mile square, etc., etc., etc. So we cap distance weapons at 1 mile range. They can fire further than that, but it's so far away that any ship that's aware of the incoming attack, that's not caught by surprise, automatically can dodge the attack if they choose, just sliding their ship out of the way. And it takes so long that you can literally see it a mile away. So it takes forever for the shot to get there, more than a round. Well, technically it's a round because of how D&D works, but because of how distancing and sighting works, if you choose to not be hit, you're automatically missed. If you don't know the attack is coming, then it's a disadvantaged attack, but they're surprised, so it's at advantage. So you can actually hit things unaware of you. Kind of like Jeremy Crawford's invisibility clause. You can actually have a decent shot at hitting something as long as you can line it up. So we have orrery tech. We're using the scanning system to see small objects up maybe 5 feet or less, all the way up to planetary size. You can see those coming at you as well. Depending on the size of the object is how far ahead in advance you can see it coming. It's 70 pages of hard mechanics and about 20 some odd pages of using those hard mechanics to readdress or to reapproach Light of Xaryxis from a different perspective, with fast moving round per round combat on ships where the team is working together or individually on deck or taking shots at things that were within a mile range of them. As well as figuring out how gravity works more efficiently, and making just some fast, light, easy rules for air bubbles, distance and time in space, lifestyles, random system generators, different storm systems, hazards in space, how unnatural creatures can fly through space, and how you can create an unnatural ecology just drifting through space or orbiting or within the gravity planes of different asteroids or an asteroid field, how rings around planets work, all this stuff. It's a good, solid document, and just like in the link down below, it's all going to be 100% free for you to view, so you can see how the mechanics work, so you know that this is something is going to make a big difference in your spelljamming campaigns without having to purchase it first. Run the entire Light of Xaryxis campaign if you want, using this content once it publishes. On the back end of it, when your team's like, wow, we want to do more Spelljammer stuff, that would be an indication that somebody should buy the book and sally forth. All the like map details, tokens, all the tokens that we've been designing here on stream over the past few weeks, those will all be in a zip file when you purchase the book. Just keep an eye out and follow me on Twitter. I'll be bragging about the book's publication here soon enough. So we have Adam Hancock, who created Elf and Orc Had a Baby, as well as the Balderon's Guide to Kingdom Building. He is our editor, which is freaking awesome to have him on board. I'm going to get rid of that. Let's go to our topside interest. So without any further ado, let's get to work. So we've got the topside structure here. This is the generic underlying. Here, let's look at the back, the bottom. So here's the bottom that we had created. If we get rid of all of that and we just go with black and white, here's the printer-friendly version for black and white. This is a 10 by 10 space, so we can set inch squares and it'll still fit on an 11 by 17. Which gives us a half-inch border around the piece and a spare 6 inches at the top, which we can use to create tokens for the squadrons, ships, siege turrets, and star mobs that the team is going to be engaging during this battle, all within the 16-inch space. Like, you've got roughly this much space on an 11 by 17 legal document you can feed through a printer, and this is a super easy going on your printer. So that's what we developed. We have the top side as well, and then we are now in the process of coloring said top side. So I think what is the easiest thing for us to do in the present moment is to grab some greenery here and start feeding it into our illustration, where we have some forest, some trees hanging out. We don't really have a forest on the top side. Black, white, there. But we do have patches of green, such as yonder, so we can get after it and just start filling the colors in, because that's what we're doing right now. We're coloring our map. The map itself is pretty good. It's good enough anyway. It's enough to get the job done, which is all we can really ask for. So the Light of Xaryxis in the actual what is the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for the actual Light of Xaryxis adventure only has the top side in black and white, and this is not an exact replica of that map. It is just a recreation of it at the same scale. This is the scale that they have for the Citadel of Light. God, words are just obviously I need more coffee, guys. Oh my gourd, Corbin Dallas. Oh my God. I need coffee this morning. I am struggling with words already. But yeah, the Light of Xaryxis official adventure only provides the top side of the map in black and white. It should be pretty obvious to anyone that reads the content of that book, though, that you can go underneath the tower or the Citadel, and that there's things you can do on the underside. Wizards doesn't invest enough money in creating their content for you to explore alternate options than what they think you're supposed to do. Like, how are you supposed to prevent a ship from going on the bottom side of the Citadel? And if they do, what is the DM supposed to show them? You got nothing. You got nothing. So we had to build that out for you guys, and so that's present. Once I have this map done, I can actually publish this on the DMsGuild just as a thing for folks to have. But I'll need to. I'll actually probably do that. I rarely ever publish stock art of any sort. I just don't do it. But I think this would be I think this is one of the examples that would be a great idea to provide that. If you check at the very beginning of this of the Spelljammer playlist on my YouTube channel, episodes 1 through I think 4 has us walking through how combat at the squadron scale of 500 feet can be conducted using the mechanics that we provide for in the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book that we're currently in edits with Adam. So yeah, you can see the thought process that goes behind that. And the stream, we're up to what episode? What episode is this? 45? Hold on. Jeez, crow. Yeah, episode 45. Jesus. Since August, what was it? August 17th that this got released. This is our 45th episode of converting the Spelljammer's Adventures in space into the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration system since it published on August 18th earlier this month, 15th, 17th in 2022. So August, September, October, November, December, January. We're in our 5th month of production here. We're already in print. We're already moving into edits. We'll have those back from the layouts probably in the next week, couple weeks probably. Certainly in January, it looks like we're going to get our layout, our final text back. For Ukulele Bard and I to fix if necessary. And if everything seems kosher, we can just move forward into page layout. And that's when we'll see what assets we actually need for us to be able to finish the product. All the stuff that we've been producing so far, map tokens, map assets and tokens, these are things that we know that we need to have in there for the Light of Xaryxis adventure. but that doesn't resolve all of the diagrams, charts, tables, and just interior artwork that's needed to convey the information about tactical movement, scaling, visual distancing, objects in space, the movement of moons and planets around a central star. All that stuff needs to have visual elements to make it easier for folks to digest the information, regardless of how eloquent we were able to make the text. Visuals are always great when it comes to tactical stuff, and this book provides a ton of tactical guidance on how to conduct these battles in space. So it'll be a little while, but we're going to do all the page layout here on stream, and we're going to do all of the diagrams and illustrations here on stream. It may take a little while, like another month or two, but I'm anticipating this thing being done in April. And to clear my plate, I'll be having a birthday jamboree in May, where I take the full week off and continue acting as though I am a full-time content producer. So please, I've got 118 followers currently and about 800 hours of watch content. And YouTube won't monetize this channel until I have 1,000 followers and 4,000 hours of consumed content. So if this stuff is interesting to you, just let it run. Just jump into the Spelljamming playlist and just let it run so I can accumulate hours. Like and subscribe so that YouTube understands that people are interested in this long-form design aspect. And follow me on Twitter and hunt me down on Discord. Say hey. Be happy to talk with you. These mechanics are for everybody to use. That's why I'm making them 100% preview. It's just the assets themselves that we're investing all this time into, that we ask for you to purchase the product so you can get all the download of all the tokens and stuff. We'll be able to post all the tokens and stuff separately. As just basically art assets on DMsGuild as well, which can act as a which we can bundle with the book. I mean, it'll already be in the books. You're not gaining anything, but once this is published, we'll certainly make a full bundle for the Light of Xaryxis stuff. But it'll also be a means for people to acquire additional attention to the book. Ooh. Did I get everything? Did I get them all? Did I get them? Did I get them? Where did he go? Looking up. Yep, little spots of just little copses of trees just to green up the place a little bit on the top side for the elves. So remember a simpler time in reality. And we're gonna have to come up with a building color. Built out. We'll be able to hunt down a new color for the buildings and the walls. Trees. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Is there anything there? Doesn't feel like we are. Well, we'll find it if we missed it. That feels pretty thorough. Cool. All right, so let's go fetch. So fetch. Grab some more color here. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not gonna happen. We sloppy stencils like this because we can erase it on the backside after we finish spotting everything. We can just highlight the undercolor and hit the erase button. But this is pretty handy for us just to be able to blurb. In the military district, that looks good. Yeah, like that. Stop breathing through your mouth, Kearney. Smart in that. We can select inverse and erase. See, easy peasy. Splotches of color. Those are okay. Okay, cool. So we're making progress here. Just go down into here. And steal some of this lighting. We can get away with something like this. Let's just fuzz this up a bit, just to blend it in a little, and we can push specific lines. So let's see how. Yeah, looks cool. That's fun. I like that. I love this chisel brush. This chisel brush is so good. I do freaking so much with it. Just gets work done. Something like that. Just like that. Icked. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think I can go back and we can look at the the illustration to see how the tower is resolved. What is going on? Thank you. Thank you. I'll do that. I like how the like the aircraft carrier type structure sits on top of the overall rocks, like it's intentionally leveled out. I mean, it would be intentionally leveled out, but there's like little pieces of topography poking through along the edges here. I dig that. I think it's a lot of fun. Elf parents telling elf babies, don't get too close to the edge or you'll drift away. Yeah, because it's only a mile large space, it has the gravity plane, not the spherical gravity that you expect on a planet. So you can fall off the edge and just drift away. Yeah. And since this thing is orbiting the star of Xaryxis in the same orbit as their home world is, then you could, well, I mean, you'd be dead before the planet caught up with you. But it's theoretically, I guess a plasmoid would probably be able to hold their breath long enough. I think it only takes a day for the planet to catch up to where this Citadel is in orbit, which is kind of a it's kind of a scary thought that any trash that they just push off of here eventually hits their home planet. But I guess they figure, well, if it all burns up in the atmosphere, what a great way to resolve trash issues. I don't know, man. These don't sound like very healthy elves to me. These sound like bad stewards, you know? Like, what the hell are you dudes doing? Is there even anything on? Oh yeah, that's right. Citadel. We need to spell that out. Spell that out. Citadel. And we'll go with topography here. And continue our effort. Effort is fun. Oh god, I'm not on screen like half the time. It probably means I need to zoom like the hell lots in. There, I'm back on screen, guys. Hi. Fun. We may end up trimming some of this out. We'll see. We'll see. We just got to do the work. We got to do the work legit for now, just to see where things sit. Then we can. There we go. And once we know how things sit, then we can properly resolve how the imagery should look. But this is how we start. Oh God, I need to set a timer. I'm on a timer today. I'm back at my day job in the mornings, so I have 8 a.m. in Seattle hard time limits. I'm going to set a 20-minute timer for now. It is 6:45 here in Seattle. I've got an hour and 15 minutes. So we're going to see how far along we can get here. I think our biggest challenge is just going to be all these little buildings. This is a 300 DPI as opposed to the Eberron maps I've been building, which are 100 DPI. Because of the scale of the inches and the amount of information that's packed into each inch, I decided to go with 300 DPI. It should work out just fine in the VTT environment, and of course the printer. If you're doing just print only, black and white, the printer doesn't care. You know what the DPI is. It's just going to print the image. So that'll all read fine. It's just a larger asset file. I mean, well, it's only a 10 by 10. Well, I mean, if you stick on, excuse me, if you put on the bottom of it, then it's a 10 by 20. But it's just a matter of breaking up those objects into different shapes, or into different portions of the map. So. Cha-da-cha-da-cha-da-cha. Oy vey, excuse me. This should resolve. Hair now that we've got. Let's keep him in this thing. excuse me. I think we're doing okay over here. Cool. Okay, let's continue working the problem. So we're going to smudge this all in. Like yonder. Let's just do that there. Decisions were made. Let's just go back over this real quick just to make sure it's thorough. Just to make sure we've got everything where it needs to be. It's kind of a sloppy run through last night when I dumped all the color into here. It's far from complete, so I need to go back through here real quick and just sweep this stuff up. Hey, Hansi, it's good to see you, man. There's a bit that needed to get fixed. Fixed it. So, yeah, there's some slop going on here that I need to fix. That's cool. I'm going to have to change the color of these docks. We'll have to refer to the illustration that we have for the proper dock color. But I think this is just a general background, like this is a base color to separate what is and isn't from the background. I think it's sufficient, but again, we'll layer in proper dot coloring for here and then over here as well when we get to it, which hopefully will be today. So making some quick ground on this one. It's not too difficult. I think I can use the coloration from El Terrell in Descent into Avernus. I think I can use that color map for me to inform the color of the different buildings that we have on this asteroid. So I'll have to take a look at it, but as long as it's I think there's like browns and greens that are on that piece, so that should clash. It should complement, not be too clashy, is what I'm trying to say. So coloring the top side, yes sir, coloring the top side, making progress. Here's the final for the. I'm thinking about changing up the trees, the lighting, so that it's the core of it's light and then gets darker as it goes down, which would be the same language as we're using along the borders here. But I haven't gotten there yet, and I just want to make sure I get the topography of the top side right. But so far, meh, I'm pretty pleased. So I gotta drop some black on the background. Hold on, let's do that. And then the grid. What's going on with my grid? Huh? I need to have a white grid put in there. But I can see all the little flaws that are sticking out now. That's actually really important. So I'm going to wait. Is that mostly? Yeah, there's still some flaws poking out. That this will help us find. But all things in its proper time, so we'll get to it. This is just general cleanup, and then we can potentially just merge down and delete that way. But I'm not sure if that's the best way to go about. Included little bits like that need to get fixed. But I can go through and do cleanup, like rim cleanup on my own time. I don't need to necessarily burn camera time with that. What is going on? Am I hitting the erase button or something? Jeez. Stuff is a little wonky. I think there must be an update or something that's starting to erode the quality of my Photoshop, because things are just interacting a little weird yesterday and today. Seriously, dude. Some line art cleanup that needs to be done there. This is a little sloppy production here, man. Let's go look for any gaps along here. God, my face keeps falling off the screen. I'm like 3 hours away from being done with the line art for the cemetery map that we've been working for the Eberron adventure, and so our plan was to start working on colorization of that Thursday night, tomorrow night. We are right on course to actually being able to do that. So God's willing, when we fire up stream tomorrow night, we will have we'll just be diving straight into color for that cemetery map and get on with that, which is perfect. It's actually a couple days late. I was hoping that we were going to be doing that yesterday, but thank you. Thanks, Anzi. I appreciate the word of encouragement. I know you ain't just blowing smoke up my ass, because you've pointed out where flaws were before, so I appreciate you being a source of reality checking, because God knows I need it. But this is an interesting project because you got these hard lines here, like where they're obviously building like platforms on top of the stonework. And I still want to have the stonework present here. The bop bop, oh, the bop bop. There's not much topography to be done here because it's just poking out a little bit underneath the... Like, that's all I need to do there. Here, though, I need to see that guardrail is gone. I don't. And again, I'm just kind of cut and pasting this. Not literally cut and pasting, but you saw the design process of creating this. When we initially grabbed hold of it and decided to rework this map, we took a ton of creative cues. I mean, we built our own paths and stuff in our own city, but we took a lot of the creative cues along the border, like the edge of the structure, based on the map that was provided in the adventure, and it doesn't really address topography at all. It's just a simple line art black and white map, hence us creating this color version, because God, people want a color version. So once we get this thing built out, I should probably do a Rock of Brawl eventually. I think I won't do Rock of Brawl until I publish the Command of Guilds and Kingdoms, because Rock of Brawl would be a really fun community. It's a city. It's a city of 10,000 people. So it would be a fun project to break down into its resource components and how it's self-sufficient, like actually laying out the mechanics and the numbers and the dice rolls that go along with running that place as an ongoing mission for your team if you were to take over the Rock of Brawl. Like, what's the administrative nightmares that you could resolve with just a couple simple downtime activity die rolls? That's what the Guilds and Kingdoms system is designed to do, is to gamify the process of running an organization. Like, what kind of adventuring hooks can be created from running an asteroid fortress in the Spelljammer campaign. Like, what fun little territorial issues would crop up that would require the character's attention, so you can make a location-based campaign that doesn't require the characters to run amok to find new adventure elsewhere. When you have a citadel or a wizard's tower or whatever, it's kind of assumed that some of the adventures come to you. So we can facilitate that, but again, we need the books. We need to finish this one, and then I believe we're doing. I don't know if we're doing armies in. I don't know if. What's the words I'm trying to use here, Kearney? I don't know if we're going to develop the squads and armies or guilds and kingdoms first, but they are separate, like 80-page standalone books unto themselves, that all of which kind of inform additional tactical and role-playing opportunities that kind of fold into the mechanics that we have for this Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book. So it's an interesting challenge. We'll see, because I want them both to publish, obviously, in the next year. Maybe once the Eberron adventure publishes, maybe we focus down on both of those. I have martial powers that I have lined up for us to start doing edits and layout stuff in June, which kind of clashes with a timeline of releasing these things, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things prioritize themselves. None of these things have any goals other than what I assigned to them myself, because these are all self-funded projects. So I don't technically have a timeline for these things, though I would like to have them all published before 2024 resolves. So I think 3 books between now and 2024 is incredibly realistic, considering how much the mechanics are already resolved. It's just a matter of finishing it up, you know. So excited though. Because once these things publish, I can decide, you know, do I want to do expansion stuff and just dump stuff onto my Patreon to pull people in that direction? Or will subject matter be interesting enough that it will warrant further publication on the DMs Guild? I won't owe them anything once I have this thing published. Anything else that I decide to produce, I can publish. As long as it's not IP specific, I can publish anywhere the hell I want. And it's a good excuse for me to start leaning into the Patreon concept, but I'm not 100% if that's how I want to play in 2024. I'm waiting for the OGL thing. There might be information about the OGL released today, depending on what people's production NDAs are or whatever. We'll see how that all plays out. But I'm interested. I think I'll be able to continue roosting at DM's Guild indefinitely, considering that the core of my creative work is around making the official adventures that they produce more with these command ideals and building empire and stuff like that is kind of the focus of those products. Is the city ground elevation pretty flat overall, or ridges and plateaued like the bottom side? As best I can tell, overall, for the most part, I think there's some topography like here. I think that's how that rolls, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. The illustrations seem to imply that this is uphill and that this is uphill. So like you kind of have, like, this is a plateau, this is a plateau, this is a plateau, and then down here is all, for the most part, a plateau. I think this is lower in elevation, so I think it's like that. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out though. Like, what do I want to, like, like, I don't know if this is fun or not, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the illustration, where's the reference that we have? Here is the only illustration of Light of Xaryxis. The illustration that is in the map that's in the actual Light of Xaryxis adventure has 0 topographical information at all. This is the academy that we have here. This is the general shape of it that from the map that we ganked, which doesn't look a whole lot like this. Hey, timely timer, keeping time, thank you. And this is the supposedly that's that. And although the map we used pulled this shape off of the actual map they provided for us, it doesn't look anything like what they've got going on here. And none of these city structures are at scale with what's actually going on. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know where the illustration lead for this art direction came from after we launched Photoshop. Locked up on us. Looks like you could invent whatever feels right for the map then. Yeah, unfortunately it's true. I like, look at that. That is ridiculous height. But none of that is indicated on the actual Citadel map at all. So it's kind of a stinker. It's kind of a stinker. So yeah, we can do whatever we want with it. We can play with this idea for a few minutes since we're here. But to me, it doesn't make any sense to have this is the military naval yard. It seems a little weird that it's so far away from here. Like, you'd put, like, I get it, because like they like, oh, that looks like a dock, it's a butterfly. But if that's the case, you'd think that the Citadel itself would like be right here to close off the rest of the city from where the Emperor's Citadel is. Like, you got to go through all of this potential assassination space to get down to the naval yard here, or they have, I guess, their own private dock, but this is the private dock. It's outside of the facility. I'm going with what they gave us because it's what they gave us, but man, if I were to build this differently, I would have like a dozen things to say about the integrity of this military. of the strategic, like how sound is the strategic decisions that they made going into this. So I don't actually think I like where that's at there at all. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Screw you, Ufus. But here, I'm not opposed to it. Let's just let this play out for a few minutes and see how that looks. Not opposed. Using the language that we have developed for the topography. It'd be darker at the bottom than at the top. So let's... Yeah, I don't know if this is actually adding any value. I don't think it really does. Aesthetics over civil engineering. Yeah, well, you know, they don't invest a lot of money into that. I don't even think the illustrator and the cartographer had a conversation, honestly. Yeah, I'm not liking any of that elevation stuff. I'm just gonna get rid of that to keep for a cleaner, just a cleaner tactical read of it. Just leave it flat. I can continue to do the smudge work around the edges. Brr! That's too big though. Arr, the size of that circle, my sir. You got it there. Thank you. Traumatizing. It is pretty fun in general. I don't have to break my neck over it. Man, it would be an effort to come back through and completely stat out this community, like second edition Waterdeep style, like to go to that depth of effort. Can you believe how deep? I don't know if anyone's ever seen the old Waterdeep box set from Forgotten Realms. It was probably first edition, not even second edition, that they built that. But by God, it was a huge. It was like a 3-foot map of just the city, and it had all these booklets of like substructures of like citadels and Waterdeep Castle, and it was a crazy product. It had like 400 marked locations inside of it. There was booklets for each of them. Like each district had its own book inside of a box set. It was impressive. There's no way in hell Wizards of the Coast would ever produce anything that expensive for so little. Like if they only had one, like if Forgotten Realms was their only setting, maybe they would go to that depth. But man, that's a good reason why TSR went out of business, man. That just depth of product is ridiculous. 2E Waterdeep sounds impressive. It was, man. God, just look it up, man. Look at the Waterdeep city box set. It was just, God, it was ridiculous. Just insane. Just the production of things. They spent so much money on cartography and design work. It was such a different company under TSR. Just ridiculous. It was impressive the amount of effort that they went into like they didn't do anything half-assed at all. Like if they're building a campaign setting, they are supporting that campaign. It's spoiled us grognard longtooths, man. Like the stuff that Wizards is putting out now for 5e, it's like, where's your crunch? Like where's anything? There's no lore, there's no crunch. Super soft. It's like a super soft setting. I think that's probably a good way of describing Wizards of the Coast in general right now. It's just they're just soft. Could be that I've been watching a lot of Letterkenny lately, so I'm being influenced by Canadian hick insults, but it certainly seems to apply. God, I throw so much shade. I'm never going to get hired by anybody, because anybody that accumulates any money, I start trashing their creative decisions. Once you get too big, you stop creating for the creation and perfection of the product, and you start kind of bending towards, well, I want to keep this money train rolling. I don't know how I'm supposed to exist in that sort of space. Like I want to make enough money that I can quit my day job, blah blah blah, but I really don't want to get caught up in like making profit-driven decisions as opposed to like, this is a fun, cool product I built, so let's just keep building it. That's a serious debate for me. I don't want to lose the heart of this stuff, because if it doesn't stay fun, if I'm making just corporate decisions because this is a good sale, it's like a lot of YouTube channels is like, you know, top 10 magic items or some shit. It's like, God, you're just creating content just to create content for your stream. Like, you have no goal. There is no bigger picture here other than just creating your stuff. I'm actually patting myself on the back really hard about that, because like my next book is my next stream content. You know, like get a book done, make a new book, and stream some more, suckers. Like that's my action loop. So I really gotta check my privilege at the door, man, because I'm not better than any other channel for that. It's just I just make a more snobby creative decision. I think that's what it comes down to, is that I do snobbery really well. I'm such a snob. For one D&D, they can sell you each building as a microtransaction. Oh man, I think Hero Forge should really be watching their ass right now, because when they say post-production asset, post-production transactions, I think they're looking at their Unreal Engine as a place to sculpture figurine out for your playtest experience, you know, for your online experience. But it wouldn't take a lot for them to say, hey, give us an extra $5 and we'll send you this as a miniature. Like, that technology obviously exists, and it's obviously well within Wizards of the Coast capabilities of being able to produce items. I mean, it's a toy company, for fuck's sake. So I think that's what they mean by post-market microtransactions. I don't think it's like get a hat inside the Unreal Engine. I think it's hey, that Jarl Axel figurine you just made, we can send it to you. And if you want to put it up for options for people, I mean, I don't know why people would buy your miniature, but I could see them rewarding sculptors inside their their Unreal Engine, kind of like D&D, kind of like DMsGuild, that if you want to produce asset tokens inside of their Unreal Engine, maybe they give you, you know, a 10% cut of it or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of freewheeling, but I just think Hero Forge should really be watching their ass right now. I think that's what Wizards is looking at when they talk about post-sale transactions. Anyway, Bob is your uncle. Oh, limited edition hat. I want to get my screen here and set so I can see everything that you're snarking about. Because snarking's half the fun. Like, if you can't snark at the villain in D&D, why have a villain? You have to be able to snark at somebody, and you don't want to snark at the DM. Well, I mean, some people do. I'll snark with you all day long, man. Part of the fun. I mean, what's the point of being top of the king of the hill if you don't have people gunning after you, right? That's my justification. I'd love to be large enough for people to be able to snark at me. Like right now, like making fun of me is like punching down for everybody. But someday, maybe like I become like MCDM size. Like taking shots at MCDM, totally legit. They're making millions of dollars on any Kickstarter project. You can afford to make fun of them for fucking up. You can use truth to power on MCDM because they are legitimately big fish. So I think that's fun. But I'll give anybody crap that makes 6 or more digits on a production that, you know, isn't well thought out. It's thorough. It's just not well thought out. Like Stronghold, like Kingdoms and Followers or whatever, and Stronghold books is like, it's not 5e. It doesn't work with 5e. It's adjacent. Anyway, I'm potentially losing grace here, so I'm going to back off a little bit. But I can shit on Wizards all day about how crappy their Spelljammer product is. They should have known better, man. They really just need to put in more effort. I think somebody's like really kneecapped their budget of development, and so it's just, I've talked about that before, how they invest in stories and not mechanics. Definitely punching up with Wizards. Like if you're employing like 10 people to help you produce products, at that point I think any mistakes that you make with that many people on your team, like, or more, like at that point, if you screw something up, you really deserve to take hits for it, because it's like you got a lot of eyes looking at what the hell you're doing. Like I've got one co-writer, ukulele bard, and an editor, and I mean that's really small fry in comparison to most of these businesses that are attempting to produce comparable products to what we have here. And it's like, why is this better? I mean, like, why could these large companies not produce something as good as this? Why can't people just take 5e mechanics that they claim that they want to build stuff for and like actually use 5e mechanics for the stuff they build? It's freaking weird. Like, are you making money off of the current edition of D&D, or aren't you? And if you aren't, why don't you have enough guts to come up with your own system? Like, what are you afraid of? Money. They're afraid of losing money. It's ridiculous. Like, where's your passion? Where's your commitment to your project? If you think you've really made the best psychic ever, why are you bending on your decision making? Anyway, I'm taking shots now. I should take shots. I should shut up. Have some Kyoki coffee. God, that'd be so good right now. I just think we've seen so much better in the past. So much higher production quality, much better logistics, smarter design. Even though it wasn't 5e design, there's been a lot more heart and commitment to quality that we've seen in past and other, TSR specifically. That we know how good these things can be, and it's just disappointing that with the most money that D&D has ever made before, we're seeing the least amount of quality being produced. It's a real shame. But hey, I think I'm pretty happy with. I mean, this lighting is pretty minimal. This topography effect. It's pretty minimal, but I think I'm happy with it. A lot of the coloration will come in when we start dropping in building colors, so that'll add a lot of diversity. What is going on? Oh Lord, I gotta go along here. I'm just noticing these imperfections floating in the ether. You gotta get rid of here. So much street flack. I can get rid of that. Black and white turrets. There we go. I think, yeah, I think I can mince over those details elsewhere. Let's see if the Rock of Brawl map provides us with any fun insight. But so far, it's mostly going to be building color stuff. I think is going to save us on this. So we got the Citadel, we got the trees. What does Citadel mean? Oh, Citadel, right. This up here. Okay, that's apropos. Cool. Let's go find the Rock of Brawl map. Let's go to D&D Beyond. Boop, boop, boop. And let's drop down here to the sources, to adventures. Not adventures, source book. Hey-oh, keeping time. What time is it? 7:30. Okay, cool. So this is going to be our last 20-minute stretch. And then we'll put this on pause for the night, and we'll come back and we'll continue with it tomorrow. But we got a 20-minute run right now, so let's see how far into this mess we can get. So let's go with the Astral Adventurer's Guide. We should have a Rock of Brawl at the back end of this. Bam. Let's go find a map. The accompanying poster map. Oh, do I already have these assets loaded into here? Hold on, let's find out if we already have this. I bet we do. Bam! Sure it's not. Nice. What? Why is there a nautiloid hanging out in the dry docks? Why the hell would you be tolerating a lithid in your freaking home? Is that a Yogi Night Spider? I am not a fan of some of the decision making that's going on here. That feels just inapropos. Alright, well, can't be helped apparently. Let's grab that. Oh my god, what a horrible decision. Why would you ever let a lithid onto your freaking asteroid? Get out. Die, Mother Hubbard. Well, anyway, that's me. That's the black and white area. Topography, Citadel, trees, black, white. Let's go with buildings. Wow, those are almost identical. Isn't that crazy? Wow, did not realize. I am not okay with that. So we're gonna have to fix. Let's go back. Let's find a different color. That's so crazy. That should probably be okay. Let's check in on it. Ah, crap, we locked up. Real estate market is really tough to judge. Let's see, is that any better? Barely. Ugh, jeez, my crack. Well, I guess it can't be helped. Weird, just weird. Like, how does that make any sense? I want it to make sense, it just kind of doesn't. Sorry, I'm having an existential crisis here. I did not expect the wooden docks to be the same color that they used in the Light of Xaryxis illustration for rocks. I thought it was pretty safe using that rock color. Now I'm feeling super uneasy about this. I need to find a different color dock. That's just freaking me out. There, I think I can be comfortable with that. Let's go with that. I think that is a good idea. Right there. We'll go with that. Jeez, crow. Oh yeah, that is gonna work out. I think that's gonna work. Very good contrast. That should work nicely. Like it's a subtle, like the gray tone is subtle, but over here on the color array, I can tell this is like drastically different. I'm sure that just jumps out at you color vision people. Did I lock this stain up again? Oh my gourd. All right, well, obviously reality wants me to have a sip of coffee. I can get behind this. I could potentially use that as a base color for some structures, maybe. I think I can just safely lean into the Rock of Brawl, and I think I can smudge this in. Let's start off here. Like I think I can get away with doing like this little lining around the edges to connect these different docks, like a boardwalk. A boardwalk, literally walking on boards. Shut up. But I kind of like the idea of framing this area. Like, what size brush is that? Let's take it up to a 10. Let's see what 10 does. 10's a little thick. All right. Let's go back to... Let's stay at 8. Yeah, 8 sits inside of this dock, so that's probably a good size. I'm going to erase all this crap and just start over again, now that I have a size I'm calibrating to. This is exciting! Excited! Yeah, once you figure out the contrast, like how to like find decent contrast on stuff, not having color doesn't really impede me from painting in color at all. I just have to trust my source content, which is why I'm always keeping an eye on my RGB over here in the corner, because it literally is the only thing that's letting me know that the color I'm working in right now is a different color than, say, the topography that we have here along the edges. It's I feel like I want to darken this just a bit. Just a bit. Like that. Yeah, so I have a little bit. It's difficult for me. I can see the contrast, but it's not there. Let's do that. There. But I want to, if there's enough difference in pixel color from one area to the next, so you can easily see that those things are kind of standing out from the rest of the environment around us. Let's take this back up to an 8, and we can just run along the line here. AKA what you're doing, good choice. Blue tint on the dock structures would look nice against the base earth tone. It's a nice contrast. Oh, great, thanks. Yeah, I'm guessing it's more. Is that maybe like an aquamarine? Like I'm seeing a lot of green and blue almost in balance over the reds. That green and blue. It's really difficult for me to gauge like what exactly is that. And my brain always just wants to go to aquamarine because I know it's like an off green. I'm not sure if that's appropriate or not, but blue seems appropriate for space elves, unless they're Drow. I love space Drow, space more like night elves. God, it's so freaking cool. Once this book publishes, man, I am looking forward to making all sorts of space Drow. That is a supplement I actually continue to publish on the DMs Guild, like just statting out, Drow in space. How can you not frickin' love that? There's so many things I can do once this thing publishes. My biggest concern is always moving on to something completely different and not being able to really flesh out what I worked on, like the spell point variant rules that I have bundled in the DMs Guild link down in the description there. Like that's not the full set yet. Like I still have artificers to do, and I still have sorcerers to do, and then I have like the gods of Theros, like to build out like enchantment auras for the gods manifesting, and there's so much crap I need to do. But since they announced one D&D, I'm kind of like cooling my jets on mana production until I see. Oh my god, this thing's locking up so much. I'm kind of cooling my jets on mana production until I see exactly how Wizard of the Coast decides to make changes to character classes and spell lists. That should hopefully make it pretty easy for me to update the layout on all those books, because I want to do a different layout. I think I can make it prettier. And since Strixhaven and Theros both coming out, I think there's an opportunity for me to expand on just the information about color in 5e, well, in D&D in general. Yeah, once 6e comes out, I can just add content and just rebuild that the color mana system. The fun thing about DMs Guild is that the first product, like the first version of the PDF that you publish, you can always publish. It's like all the stuff that I built for 5e. Once one D&D updates, you still have access to the 5e edition version of it. So whether you want to play one D&D or you want to play the new hotness, in either situation, the books that I put out, you'll be able to have, you'll be able to use. And I'm pretty excited about that. So I have no idea how much of the community is going to want to switch over to 6e. I mean, traditionally it'll be, over time it will be everyone. It's just a matter of how quickly. I think that feels pretty good. I kind of want to blend. I'm gonna save here now, because if I don't like it, I can just duplicate it too. I like to duplicate file. I like to duplicate layers when I mess around. But I feel like, I don't know if a fade is appropriate here or not. I bet it isn't. But I kind of like the idea of just doing like a smooth fade. That feels good. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Yet again, my instincts are serving me well. Thanks for the affirmation, Anzi. Very much, truly appreciate it. Yeah, it's less harsh. And I'll be able to just overcolor the building, so I really don't have to worry about if the smudge is getting inside their. I can even do things like this little pathway down here. I can do that without having to do it up here at all. I like this. God, I like this separation a lot. Feels good. That does feel good. Nice. All right, we'll do the same over here. Not a lot of docks for a military base. Seems a little thin over yonder, but now it is what it is, I guess. Again, yeah, these guys aren't military tacticians. These people are completely ignorant in space warfare technology. Put a little Robotech there for you. No, these people are completely ignorant of space combat tactics. That's the exact phrase, the exact quote from Brite. But I'm a Robotech nerd, so love me some Most Piata. Do do be do. Do 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 do. Where is my sister? Here we go. So good. For you guys that are artists out there, you know that like at some point, like you'll look at the piece and you're like, I got this. Like this is going to end up being a good piece. Like when you have enough of the information down, and you know that you've properly expressed the attitude and that the coloration is good, and you can just be like, this is going to be a good piece. And that stupid smile on my face was me realizing that the top side of this is going to be a good-looking piece, and how satisfying that is. Maybe I'll put blue inside the towers here. Maybe that's how I'll distinguish them. We'll see. I definitely want to make sure that the towers really pop out though, because those are strategic points that the team has to worry about getting shot their shit out of. So, and I can probably do this, like these platforms that jut out. I think those being blue is probably a good idea too. Uh-oh. Kids, you gotta go. You are not welcome here, my I can't call you friends because you're not. Hold on. Why are you not being destroyed by my commands? All right, we'll have to go into... I'm not big enough to have a moderator. Excuse me while I fix my shit. Remove. Report. Remove. I swear Google must be making money off of these things because they're just horrible. And okay, cool, we're good there. Oh, holy Hannah, I don't know you. Mist Strange. Hey, what up? Welcome to the mix, man. The smooth fade looks a lot nicer, to be honest. Thank you. I think it's going to be a good piece. I don't often see who's typing what, so hey, thanks for being here. Yeah, we're building we're building Spelljammer shit. If you aren't familiar with Spelljammer already, here you go. And here's the bottom side that we completed already. And this is our 45th episode, so there's a playlist on my channel for all the previous content that we have. The first 4 episodes of this is explaining how the team can use the squadron mechanics we have in the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book to basically walk you through how to lead a fleet of ships against the Citadel and how the Citadel is going to respond to it. So if you are a Spelljammer enthusiast, I would highly recommend checking that out because it's all this stuff is going to be available 100% preview on DMsGuild once it publishes. This piece will obviously be in the PDF document for you to view, but as a standalone asset along with all the tokens and stuff that we ask you to buy it for that stuff. But otherwise, the whole thing, like if you have your own art assets, you can just take the information that we're providing for you for free, because this is just information that you should know how to be able to do squadron combat in D&D. Like they've never had to bother with that until now. But it's been really fun fleshing these mechanics out. We started with Descent into Avernus about 8 months ago, and they worked so well once Spelljammer released in August. We were like, oh yeah, all these Infernal War Machine mechanics that we've been developing work perfectly with Spelljammer. We just got to upscale them by tenfold, and the scaling mechanics we have for squads and armies has a smooth scaling 5 foot square, 50 foot square, 500 foot square, 1 mile, 10 mile, 100 mile. If you want to do the Blood Wars in a 1,000 mile stretch through Avernus, we've got how to conduct that as a round of combat, just like 5e would. So, and we were able to upscale those mechanics using Spelljammer here with ships instead of squads. And so far, it's all working out brilliantly. All the playtesting's been great. We found flaws, but we fixed them. So that is all to say. Since you're new, like and subscribe. I've got maybe another 100 hours of content that I need to put into here into art assets and cartography We'll also do the page layouts here on stream once Adam Hancock finishes doing the edits for the manuscript that we have. It's about a 40,000 page document so far. And then we're going to have like all the diagrams and tables and map assets and you know, how to use the thing, like all that stuff. It's going to be it's a good production, and we're going to stream all of it. So if this is information that, oh, I found another patch of grass. I mean, trees. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and get into you real quick, my bro. Drop that onto there. There. Nice. I knew I'd find some. But yeah, liking and subscribing is the greatest good anyone can do for me right now, until I get my 1,000 followers and 4,000 hours of you know, content viewed. So like, honestly, liking, subscribing, and then just picking a playlist and letting me ramble around in the background while you do other things, that's a huge blessing to where I'm trying to get with this channel. So, but I don't expect you to just dive in on it right away. You can hang out for a while and check some of the other content streams that I've done to confirm that I'm not full of shit and that, you know, I'm something that's worth investing into. But I do this pretty much every morning. In fact, it's 7:45 now, so I've almost hit my wall for the day. So I need to log out and go to my day job. Monday through Friday, often on Saturday, I do a morning stream for at least a couple hours, if not, you know, 5 or 6 on a Saturday or whatever. And then Monday nights, and I think I can get away with some blue up here, but I don't want to. I think I want to fade it in. I don't think I want to have it much further than that. I like the idea of it, but I don't want to overdo it. You know. So I need to, I think I can get away with doing it like this. Yeah, Mondays and Thursday nights are production times with me. The other nights of the week I spend with you know, family, loved ones, human experiences. Yeah, no, I don't like that. Do not like that. I'm going to get rid of that. But I'm going to keep it over here. So I'm going to have to bounce out of here in about 5 minutes, but I do stuff offline as well. I only have so many hours of stream I do a day, but I also have I have production almost every night. I just don't stream because of family time. Yeah, there needs to be. I don't know if anyone else has put out a thorough Citadel of Light on the DMs Guild or not. I don't know if I'll be the first or not. I mean, I could theoretically finish this up and punch it out there. I don't know. Maybe I will. Put it out there for like $4 or $5. I could probably get away with $3 for this. Probably push it up to silver in no time. Also be a good promo piece for the full book being released. But I also have all the ship tokens that I need to make, so I mean it's not complete yet. I think is why I'm hesitant about releasing. Off topic. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on modern color palette tools, like things like Adobe Color Tools that build palettes not just from Harmony but keyword searches and visual searches. They're worthless to me. As a colorblind person that sees absolutely no color, palette building is worthless because the only thing that I have to work with in my eyes is contrast, gray tone contrast. And so the palettes may produce complementary colors and you know, aesthetically pleasing palette selections for people that see color. For me, there's zero context. Like I have to like when we're doing this, right? I'm fishing colors off of here, right? And then for like the rock color, I'm literally pulling from the illustration here the rocks that they have here. Like if I don't understand the context of color, it doesn't mean anything to me. I know that this is like a blue-greenish sort of thing just because of the way that the RGB scale up here is at. But like if I had it build me like a 4-color palette, I wouldn't understand what the other 3 colors in the palette selection would be in comparison to this. Like if it came up with like a sharp red with like a minimal, like an almost like off purple thing that leans more into red and blue, like red 1, blue half, green 1/5. I would literally not know what I'm supposed to do with that. Like my skin tone, the only reason I know about like more red in the nose because the skin is thinner there, and like around the knuckles you have more like, well, mine are white because I'm cold, but like I can tell the difference in color shading, color variance there with the gray tones. But I also know that's an effect about like how much sun do I get on my face, how close to my skin are the blood vessels. Like some really like techie shit that goes into color selection. But I can't just have a computer generate a color palette and for me to look at it sidewise and say, yeah, that's a good color palette. I would literally have like neons and pastels and earth tones are like really difficult for me to grok because those deal with like a lot of color subtleties and blending in different primary colors into it to build things. But again, those tools are worthless to colorblind people. Like as far as I know, I'm one of the only people that are colorblind that are coloring in that are painting in color in the world as it is right now anyway, because I keep looking for them and I don't even know how to find them. So maybe there's somebody that's colorblind with more color theory experience than me that might be able to explain how those palette tools could be useful. But yeah, just to reiterate one more time, they're completely worthless to me. It's a fun challenge, I'll give you that. I'm pretty convinced I'm like a really good artist that's reincarnated into somebody that made a bet. It's like, here, hold my beer. That's just my own personal joke about getting through a life of suffering. But yeah, it's interesting, that's for sure. Right on, man. It's kind of a non-perspective, right? But I have to reference off of either reliable artists, which is like often MTG art. It is often my go-to for magical effects and stuff, just because they're so consistently good. I can just kind of trust their color palette. And then I have to use photographs for like skin tones and stuff, and I have to keep an eye out for any weird, any kind of weird paint color that goes on with like makeup and stuff. So I try to find like low makeup, natural looking people when I'm referencing color for faces and stuff, because I know that makeup can make things wonky, and I've missed that in the past because of assumptions that I've made. But I think any accomplished artist will agree that assumptions is really the enemy of the eye. Like, the less assumptions you can make and the more you can go off of like actual things that are being experienced around you, the stronger the result is going to be in general. So that is, I already worked on this? Yeah, I did. I think, boy oh boy, I think I can do down here and here. I think this blue dock work is almost done, and then I can get back into buildings. That, fade that in a little bit. God, I almost feel like I want the topography. Oh yeah, absolutely not. But maybe like this. Let's try. Let's do that. Yes, that feels better. Cool. Now I can more easily see where this blue is happening by shifting the topography on top of the blue color. I think that's helping me prevent the blue color from masking where the topography is, which helps me define the borders of the blue dot effect. So, cheers there, man. It does force me to be a little more clean with where my topography is, which also is worthwhile. There we go. Base color. Citadel. Beginning of the buildings. Edge topography. Trees. That's where we're at so far. And it is 7:57, so I'm going to have to bail for the day. Yeah, please like, subscribe if this is your first time here. Hey, I'm Phil. There's a link down below to the DMs Guild. You can see a bunch of the books that I've built. Again, everything that I publish is 100% preview, just so you can get the information, so you can start thinking about how that plays into your campaign. And if the stuff that I produce, a lot of it has zip files full of either tokens or like spreadsheets or expanded content. I provide in the description, the product description, if there's additional assets that you can get by purchasing it. Otherwise, be welcome to run a campaign with the stuff that I build, and after you run a full 1 to 20 campaign, if that's when you decide that this stuff is worth your time, then I'll be here. Come back around and grab it. It's appreciated. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut stream. Yeah, I can do that. Let's delete that. But that is where we're at for now. So I'm going to leave that. When we come back, we're going to start using Rock of Brawl to lay down. I think we're going to have like a different color. I want to distinguish these road paths between the buildings. So I'm thinking about like making little islands of darkened color. Like maybe I'll use this topography here to color underneath here, or some sort of gravel. We'll look at Rock of Brawl, but I want to make little flotillas out of these little community spots, and then carve in like with different color the paths that they take. We'll see what that turns out at. But again, this is just a creative process for us to build. So yeah, that's my stream for today. I hate to go, but I gotta give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and so I will see you guys on the other side, and we'll be back doing this again in 22 hours. So I'll see you guys then. Thanks a lot.